What's going on, pop culture fam? It's your boy J. Rue and
Kungfu.
I'm surprised he could say that since he's got a cookie in his hand.
Sure the hell I do. Snicker little bitches. Greatest cookie ever.
Tiff's Treats. Shout out to Tiff's Treats. Coming at you live from Austin, Texas, here in the Lone Star State. And today we're going to be breaking down our review for episodes 8 and 9, the Peninsula episode, and the final episode of season 1 of HBO and Naughty Dog's The Last of Us. And I'm going to just go ahead and say this right now and just get it off my chest because it's going to hurt me too long if I don't say this.
Mm-hmm.
This is by far the greatest video game adaptation in any media.
Facts.
100%. The greatest. Movies, anything you can think of, like, this show has done what other movies and TV shows could not do before.
Sure the hell come close.
And I know that there's some issues with it. Like, would I have liked to see more of the infected? Yes. But again, do we want to see another show that's exactly like The Walking Dead? Like, where do we draw the line in storytelling and keeping with the game and adding things in? And I think they did a wonderful job of blending the two mediums, because really, video games can be video game characters just to serve a purpose to fill the narrative of you playing the game to get to the story.
Yeah.
Versus in real life, when you watch a movie, like, you kind of want to see that character grow as you're watching them versus grow as you're playing them.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So, but yeah, greatest video game adaptation. That I'm gonna leave it there.
Yeah. I second that.
Yeah. So, bless you with a cookie. Bless him.
Let's do a cookie.
So, but yeah, I mean, so here we go. We're going to kick things off. We're going to knock this one out. We're probably going to spend the most of our time on episode 9, the finale, because I think both of us have, our own opinions and our kind of reviews. I mean, obviously, we both love the show. I think where I thought episode 9 could have probably excelled at, may be a little bit different from Kungfu here, but we'll get into that. So we'll start off with episode 8, where it starts off with Ellie's like, okay, shit, I got one piece of jerky. I'm gonna take a bite and I'm gonna leave a piece for Joel, and I have no food left.
Nope. And so she decides to go out and go hunt.
Mm-hmm.
And while that's happening, you meet David, and pretty much he's giving his little sermon pretty much to all the good folks.
Mm-hmm.
And you could, for a person who never played the game, you knew this is a bad dude. He's a bad dude, but for what the reasons he's a bad dude, you find out later, kind of deal.
Yeah, you knew he was a bad dude, but you didn't know why.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then he talks to one of his cohorts, James, actually, and about, hey, we need to go look for food. The ground is too cold to dig, and so we also need to dig. Not just find food, of course, whatever, but to bury Hannah's father, the girl that kind of, if you watch episode, was it 6 at this point, where Joel got stabbed and he killed that guy? Was that 6?
Yeah.
So that guy that got stabbed, got killed by Joel, was the little girl's father in episode 8. And so she's angry because her dad's gone. And so David's pretty much an asshole to her, slaps her and says, hey, I'm your daddy now, pretty much. Yeah. And so him and James go out to go look for food. Side note, the guy's playing James, Troy Barker, is the voice and the motion capture for Joel in the game, which I didn't know that until later on, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it was really cool to see Troy, in that role. I almost kind of wish that, and I know they talked about it a little bit, because he was actually up for the role of David as well too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I kind of would have liked to maybe seen him play David a little bit. I don't know. I think he was, unfortunately, some of the motion capture actors for the games, when outside of Marlene, who plays Marlene in the game, like have kind of had very little roles, very little to no role at all, almost.
Yeah.
Just background characters, especially in episode 9. There's one character that's completely in the background, and but
it's cool to see. It's cool to see them. You see them there, especially if you play the game. You know who they are, but like, oh shit, that's what they look like.
That's Joe.
Yeah, that's what they look like. That's their actual faces, kind of deal. Yeah. So to me, I like stuff like that, little detail shit, behind the scenes, and that kind of deal. So pretty much, Ellie goes out looking for food, and she pretty much shoots a deer.
Comes across a big old buck.
Exactly, got guy's ass. But that bitch kept fighting. That bitch said, "Nope, you ever take me down."
Yeah, she kind of had to follow it for a little bit.
Yeah,
and then comes across it, and then she hears a twig break, and she turns around, and they're there, right? David and
James there. Yeah. And so she pulls a gun out on him and says, "Hey, I'm gonna pretty much shoot your asses if you guys don't leave here." David's trying to bargain with her, and David tells Ellie, "Hey, we got what we need. We got food. We got medicine. We got this." She's like, "Medicine? Light bulb."
No. Actually, he goes, we got supplies. We got food. And she's like, "Medicine? Do you have medicine?" And it was like at that point, David knew who she was. Like she wasn't just some random person. And you'll find out as they go along. So anyway, so David sends James to go get the medicine, and he's like, "Are you sure you want me to leave?" And he's like, "Yeah, it should be okay."
He says, "There's no hidden code with this one. Just go get this shit." He says, "There's no secret message. Just go get it."
Yeah,
syringes, bottles, just go get it, and that kind of deal.
So Ellie then keeps the rifle on David, and they help each other out by dragging the deer. They get under some shelter. He lights a fire, blah, blah. He starts talking about how he's a preacher and this, that, and the other, and he could save her, and you and your friend.
And about fate.
Yeah.
How fate brought them together.
Yeah.
And she's like,
you and your dad could come stay. We can protect you guys, and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, no. And then that's when she realized, like, oh, there's somebody behind me. James is back with the penicillin, but he's also got a gun drawn on Ellie, and this is when David diverges. I know who you are. You killed some of our men. Blah 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 blah. I can save you, but your dad's gonna die. And she's like, "Wait, what? What's going on?" Blah 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 blah. And so, she lets him go. Right? I think they kind of all go their separate ways.
Well, pretty much. She once she got the medicine, she pretty much leaves the deer.
That's right.
She leaves the deer and she runs off, and that's when James said, "Hey, you want to go after her?" He said, "Don't worry about it. We'll find her. We'll catch her. Don't say it's okay." Pretty much the main thing was for David was to get that deer back to their little area to feed the people.
Yeah,
because he knows that at some point he's gonna catch up with them. So that's when they bring her back to there. She goes back to the house. She pretty much, after she sewed him up, a pretty horrible looking sewing that she did.
I mean, shit, it worked though.
It did work.
Yeah.
And she pretty much
beggars can't be choosers, man.
At this point, yeah. She pretty much, I guess, took as much penicillin as she needed.
Yeah, she gave him a full syringe right in the wound.
Right in the room, and when that's happening, they're back at David's back there. You see somebody comes in with some meat. Somebody, what is this? It's deer.
Yeah, it's venison.
It's venison. Yeah, it's like, and we all know.
Well, you don't know.
You don't know,
but yeah, you're like, okay, well, this is. It was just everybody's looking at it odd, right? Like, it's venison, but like, is it? Or what else could it be? And then David comes in with a deer, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, a deer!" Blah blah blah.
Yeah, big ass deer.
He's like, "See, the Lord provides," and blah 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 blah.
And then everybody's in their food. But then I realized is that everyone has a little bitty bowl, except David's ass. That motherfucker had a big ass plate of food.
And he was smiling while he was eating it too. Yeah. I was like, "That's some shit right there."
Yeah, I'm like, "Good Lord." And so
the night,
pretty much next morning.
The next. Well, at night. Ellie gives Joel another shot. Or I think it's at night or it's in the morning.
Yeah, it's at night because the next morning, That's when David, James, and some more people go out looking for.
She hears them.
Yeah, and so it's pretty much like 5 of them out there looking for those 2. They're going through the neighborhood. She's before they get to the neighborhood, she actually opens up the garage, takes a horse out, and that's when she hears them. Is when she's on the horse, and so she kind of goes back in the house. Hey, I'm keeping away from you.
Yeah, here's a knife.
Here's a knife. Do what you gotta do, Joe. Stab this son of a bitch. Come down here, Joe.
I'm gonna barricade you as best I can. And yeah, she gets up on the horse. She kind of starts walking
and leads him away.
Yeah. And then she comes up from behind. She starts shooting at the ass. And she doesn't realize that James is posted up in a tree. She takes off on the horse as fast as she could. And bam, James just takes aim, pops the horse right in the neck. The horse flips over. She goes flying.
Hell yeah, she went flying.
She is out. You know what's funny is like again, we were talking about this earlier before the show, but like, you know, the little snippets after the episodes that they do about like how they made the episode and whatnot, like the stunt person for Ellie, like the horse was like a mechanical horse.
Yes.
It was on a slide.
A slide, and so when it stopped, it threw her off.
It throws her off.
I saw that too.
But like, which is cool because when you stop and think about it, when you see that in person, you couldn't tell.
No.
Like the way that they cut it, and obviously computer, you know, graphics and things like that to kind of blend it in together, it was just so seamless. Like, to me, I would think, and again, like I'm no film person, and I'm sure some visual effects person out there that eventually gets to the show or whatnot, or is watching the show, could tell me how much that little piece of footage costs. But to me, I would think it would cost a lot of money, but I honestly don't think it really does. We're only talking about like a small sequence.
Yeah, but it probably does because if you watch the behind the scenes clip, it's
maybe a lot of money to us, but not a lot of money to a production for a AAA show. So
yeah, because the horse technically was just a horse, you know, stand still on the actual like little conveyor belt. But then when you watch the show, the CGI is the horse is moving. That's the CGI.
So what they did was that they cut the scene with Ellie on the horse. Right, cut. Then they set up the stunt, do the stunt, and then they splice it together, kind of. It was just like really CGI cool. So a fun fact about that. You know, I digress on that a little bit, but I just thought I'd bring that up. I just thought I really enjoyed that.
Yeah. So pretty much, Ellie's out. The other guy said, "Hey, I'm taking David." Pretty much takes Ellie back to there. You 4 fools, you go find this bitch, kill him, come back with a river, right? So the 4 guys go out looking for Joe. One of them finds the house, finds the door to the basement because Ellie was able to push a dresser in front of it, which allowed Joe to hear the dresser being moved.
Because if you don't remember, Joel's hard at hearing.
Yeah,
and so she did that on purpose.
Yeah, and it was loud too.
Yeah,
it was loud for her to hear, and he knew that wasn't her. And so he was able to kind of get up and hide behind, I guess, a hot water heater. And the guy came down looking for him. Out of darkness, shank right in the neck. Keep. I'm like, God damn, Joe. I'm like, all right.
Which
look, that actually, it just side note, the penicillin that Ellie gave Joe in the video game equivalent, that's their 1-up life.
Yeah, that's that plus 50 health right there.
Yes. Exactly. She gave him twice. His life bar was this low.
Yeah.
Like real tiny. That pistol was like bigger.
Dude, and it's funny because you stop to think about it, like, note to self, I better have some penicillin in the fucking, like,
from this point on.
The apocalypse, because he got cured overnight, basically.
Pretty much, yeah.
You know, I was like, damn, that it's a movie magic, right? It's kind of just
so pretty much
suspend disbelief, but yeah.
So people, more of the story. Go to CVS or Walgreens and tell them
I need some penicillin. I need pills. I need liquid. Whichever you got, I need
syringes. A first aid kit, people. You need a fucking first aid kit because trust me, when the apocalypse do happen, your first aid kit is your health kit that will save you. So just make sure your doctor.
And don't forget the rest of the things that survive in the.
That's right.
In the apocalypse, cigarettes,
right,
alcohol,
and Coffee.
And drugs. The four that survive, plus penicillin.
And penicillin, yes. So yes, make sure you go to your local CVS or pharmacy. Have your doctor write a prescription for.
I need a year's supply of penicillin. What's wrong with you? Absolutely nothing. But I saw The Last of Us, and the world's going to end eventually. I want to be prepared.
Yeah, I need this for the year 2085, maybe, possibly. Like, is there an expiration date on penicillin? Like, no. Perfect. I need this to last for the next 60 plus years, whatever. So, yes. So, pretty much now back to the show.
Yeah.
Ellie wakes up and they pretty much in the jail, in the kitchen. I guess, well, pretty much not in the kitchen, but just
some sort of holding block within the resort.
Yeah, and so she wakes up. All of a sudden, on the ground, she sees an ear, and she's like, "Oh fuck no, nah man, we can't do this, man."
There's an ear, there's fingers.
Yeah,
she's like, "What is going on?" In comes James and David. And David looks at James. She's like, "It's okay. I got her. You can leave us, blah, blah, blah." And so Damon just gives his sermon on the mountain to her, trying to get her to, like, join him. And in the most creepiest way possible.
Yes.
Like, you know, you could be my wife. I know that you're a leader, and these people need a leader. And so we can lead together.
And Ellie's playing her role very well.
Yeah.
Like, she's like, Really? Huh?
Put my hands up on the thing.
Yeah.
And he's grabbing her hands.
All of a sudden, she pretty much breaks the fuck out of his fingers and tries to grab his keys. He's like, "No, bitch." Takes her by the shirt and starts slamming her head against the jail. She bleeding her nose. And so she tells him, "Hey, you remember when you asked me my name? My name is Ellie." And if they ask, "Who the
you can tell that I broke your fucking
fingers." Yeah. I was like, "Ooh,
Ellie's bad.
Go, Ellie. Go get him, Ellie."
And then before that, she's like, "Why? So you can chop me up, like, and feed me to your people." And then, you know, and then David's like all pissed. He's like, "Now I'm really gonna chop you up. You had your chance. I am gonna chop you up and feed you." And you know, then we cut to Joel, who has captured the other two.
He's pretty much killing folks at this point.
Yeah.
Like,
and he's like, "I need you to tell me where they are on the map." And homeboy tells him, takes him out,
bro.
Goes to the other dude. He's like, "You better point to the right place."
Oh my god! It just hit me. This motherfucker is living the life of your boy Arnold Schwarzenegger from that Commando movie. That shit just came to me. Look, if you watch Commando from the '80s, pretty much Arnold Schwarzenegger's character is this military, just one man army wrecking crew, and then pretty much his daughter gets kidnapped.
How you get to the chopper now?
His daughter gets kidnapped, and so by his ex buddy, that's now a ward of terrorist type, whatever. Yeah. And so now Arnold has to go in survivor mode, commando mode, and just kill everyone to get his daughter back. Joe and Ellie. That's pretty much what it was. This fool is capturing folks. Tell me. Point them out.
Point to them on the map. You must show me.
Okay.
Now you better point to the same place.
Exactly. Kills him. Kills this fool. Kills that fool. He's only doing this because the commander, Arnold Schwarzenegger had like rifles and grenades and bombs and like a missile launcher. This fool using a goddamn
the fucking deer hunting knife.
Not just that,
and a revolver.
The gun he has.
The bolt action rifle.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's all he needs. That's it. Simple shit. Yeah. And he's doing. He's getting them. Oh, this fool pulling a commando. Like, oh shit, just hit me. Interesting.
So you now see Joel is on his way
to go
save Ellie, and we cut to then they're dragging Ellie out of the cell. He's got her up on a chopping block. They're getting ready to chop her up, and she's like, "Wait, I'm infected," and he's like, He's like, wait, what?
Like, bitch, no, you're not.
No, you're not. He goes, look at my arm. And she pulls up her sleeve, sees the bite marks, and he's like, what the fuck? And she's like, yeah, and look at your hand. And he doesn't realize that Ellie bit his ass.
Yeah.
And so now James is looking at David like, I'm about to murder. He's like, wait. And
Ellie takes that goddamn
Ellie
butcher
takes
knife.
that damn hatchet for a fucking knife.
And goddamn right to James' neck.
Right in his neck. He's out, swings at David. I think she might have like nicked him. He runs away.
He's shooting at her. They go inside.
Yep.
She's hiding out in the goddamn cafeteria of the lodge. And pretty much he's like to Ellie, like he's ready to kill her ass. Mm-hmm. And so she's pretty much trying to keep her away at this point. And then
she throws something to knock a candle over that catches the curtains on fire.
Oh no, she I thought she lit something. I thought she actually lit something and threw it.
Yeah. You're right.
Yeah, she actually pretty much lit some kind of bottle of paper or whatever and threw it at the curtain. The curtain catches on fire. So now pretty much the entire building is pretty much now on fire now. And so pretty much Ellie and David's going to have it out inside a burning building. And
David's doing the creepy thing by trying to stalk her and telling her like, these fucking weird ass pervy pedophile things. And Ellie comes from behind, stabs him in the back, gets him a couple of times. David overpowers her, and he's like starting to strangle her. And he's just like, you don't understand. Like, you don't know what I'm going to do after you're dead. And it was just like even gross. Like, you're just like, really? Like, it's fucking nasty. And Ellie's trying to struggle to get to the damn cleaver knife, and she fucking does. And she hits him, able to get over on him, and she just wails on him till there's no tomorrow.
For a good 15 seconds, she just kept
screaming.
And blood is flying everywhere her face. Blood's being splattered. She just chopped his ass up, like literally, and she's just like done.
Yeah.
And so
she walks out and she's just like in a daze.
Yeah.
And then you see somebody grab her from behind and it's Joel. And she's like, no, let me go. And he's like, it's me. And here comes the feels, dog. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Exactly. He says this one line that he was like, oh. He's like, I got you, baby girl.
He's like, it's me, baby girl. I got you.
Yeah, I got you.
So I was like, and then cut to black, end of episode 8, and you're just like, oh my lord!
Like yes, like from that point on, you knew he was.
Yeah. He's 100% invested in his relationship to Ellie.
Yes, and also too, he's somewhat.
He's the pit of the onion. Yes. The layers have all been
unraveled. Yes, it has.
He's the core.
Pretty much, he's now back to the person that he was when the show started.
Prior to the outbreak.
Yes, he's back to he's back to being a father now.
Yeah,
he's now a father. Before being a survivor, he's now back to So
yeah, and what makes this episode also amazing is, amazing for me to see on screen. Is one thing, but like for me to when I say amazing is for people like Kungfu who's never played the game, you're expecting Joel to save the day.
Yes.
And he shows up at the end. Like it could have went either way. Like Ellie could be dead and he could get there at the last minute and she's gone. Or in this case, it plays out like she's alive, and that's exactly how it happens in the game.
And she fought for her life.
Yeah,
and, she's not the damsel in distress. Like she held her own, kind of deal. So she has
she's damaged for it though.
Yeah,
you can tell she's damaged.
Yeah, like she's shell shocked. And you find out more about that in episode 9. But that up to that point. Well, I'm gonna say it now. That probably was the best episode of all 9.
Episode 8?
Yes.
I agree.
Episode 9 is good, but it's not.
Episode 9 is satisfying.
Yes. It's not better. It's not better than 8, but it's like I said, it's very satisfying. It gives you that.
The finale is on par with the Riley episode.
Yes.
Satisfying. necessary, not really, but it's satisfying.
It's a great ending.
Yes,
it's a great ending to an amazing show. But as of best episodes, I'll say 8 is probably the best episode of all 9.
Yes,
kind of deal. So,
woo!
So with that being said,
we're gonna jump right into the finale, baby.
Episode 9, baby. Oh yeah, hold on. There you go. There you go, baby.
So episode 9, the title is "Look for the Light."
Yes.
Okay. Which is crazy because we're gonna get our review, but the title for episode 1 is "When You're Lost in the Darkness, Look for the Light."
Oh, okay.
Which is, again, why I think this show is amazing. Number one, I definitely give this show a 9 out of 10 for sure.
Definitely, yes.
It could be a 10 out of 10. I am gonna buy it on Blu-ray because I saw the Steelbook.
I'll go 9.5 in my opinion.
Yeah,
personally.
Yeah, I didn't know we were doing halves. Okay,
I do have.
I would say 9.5 for sure. Almost a perfect 10. I'm gonna rewatch it again in 4K glory, even though I streamed it in 4K. But I'm gonna buy the Steelbook version when it comes out in May because it looks amazing. The artwork looks amazing. So kudos to the team that did that. But and give it another go because I think my opinion might change a little bit if I see it again. And technically, I kind of did because my brother jumped on episode 8, and so the following week, all week he watched episodes 1, 2, 3, all the way up to 8. Mm-hmm. So we kind of rewatched some of them, and yeah, man, I still think when you said it, every episode has gotten distinctly better than the last episode. For me, with the exception of episode 2. I think episode 2 kind of went back a little bit, but then it got right back on track with episode 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So, but again, Look for the Light, episode 9.
Let's go ahead and jump into it.
So go ahead.
Okay, cool. Okay, fuck it. I'll start off.
Let's go. Yeah, I started off with the last one.
Okay, so pretty much now, in my opinion, I thought it was a time jump. It wasn't. So it was actually a flashback scene, pretty much.
You thought, you're right. You did. We talked about it earlier. You thought it was originally you thought it was a time jump to the future.
Yes, to the future, but all because of what I'm about to tell you. So pretty much, you see a young lady running in the woods, and she's pregnant, and she's screaming, and then she asks for help. You see, pretty much, you don't see it, but you hear a clicker in the back.
Yeah.
Run. You hear trees and leaves and everything. So she's being chased. She runs to the side of a building, a house, and goes upstairs.
She's calling for people, like she's supposed to be meeting somebody there.
Yes, and so what's happening, she's grabbing her stomach because she's pregnant, and so she's like, you could tell, she's like, oh shit, this baby's gonna come. This baby's about to come. I can feel it.
Her water breaks.
Yes, and so water breaks. She goes upstairs in the room, takes a knife out, barricades the door, which I'm surprised that. So she barricades the door with one little chair hinged up against the door. How did that one chair that one chair pretty much, I'm like, if you would walk a click or whatever, I would think after one pushing that whole door was knocked out. That
solid wood, dog.
Yeah, that chair was holding up big time for a while.
You got hardwood floors and that solid wood chair.
Yeah, that chair
pop it at an angle. Yeah, it's gonna take a lot.
Yeah,
that's old school.
Yeah, that chair was holding that door in for the longest time until the clicker gets in, just on top of her, and they're tasseling whatever on the ground, messing around, and so he's trying to bite her and kill her. She pretty much stabs it in the hip a few times, stabs it in the head, and so on.
Clickers down.
She
then realizes
she just gave birth. Literally gave birth right after, I guess, from the shock. The struggle and shock. Yeah.
Yeah, she didn't realize she pushed that baby out.
Yes. And so then, but once she notices that, she sees her thigh and notices that she was bit. She was bitten in the thigh.
Immediately, she cuts the umbilical cord.
And she pretty much, looks at her child, and you can tell she's automatically in love with her baby. Like she's looking at the baby, checking for fingers, all 10 fingers, all 10 toes. She's healthy. She's crying, and so she's like instantly in love with her. So all of a sudden you see somebody come in the house, a couple of people, which is, one was Marlene. She comes in the house and she hears a noise upstairs and she sees the girl on the ground holding the baby. And then you find out that pretty much the girl's name, the mom's name is Anna, and the baby she gave birth to is Ellie. So this is pretty much an origin story from this point on. And so Marlene sees her and says, "Hey, I need you to take her." And Marlene looks down and sees a bite mark on her thigh, but you can see the actual you can see it spreading.
Yeah,
you can see her veins, and you can see the actual stuff spreading in her body. You see
she was already kind of starting to
and
do little weird things.
Her under eyes start getting black, whatever. She's pretty much, I guess, starting to turn. And so she tells Marlene, "Hey, how long have we known each other? Our entire lives," she says. "Yes, I need you to kill me." And she's like, "I can't
take my baby. Her name is Ellie. Give her this.
Give her
the switchblade.
The knife, and I need you to kill me." She's like, "No, I can't kill you." And so she takes the baby. She's like, "You better fucking kill me!" Like she's pretty much going off on her and that kind of deal. And so that's her dying wish. She don't want to live in this world like that. And then she tells the guys with her, which, side note, this motherfucker didn't do a good job of covering the baby's ears.
Yeah, he didn't cover that baby's ears
at all. At all. Marlene literally tells the guy, "Hey, hold the baby, cover her ears, I'll be right back." The guy, this little hold the baby, if you see me on camera, like this, podcast, just know I'm holding the baby out and not covering the baby's ears. Baby is just protected in a jacket. So Marlene goes back inside and puts one of pretty much her best friend's head.
Just walks right in, blam, walks out,
and the baby started crying, and that's pretty much how Ellie's life got started. It got started pretty much in chaos and like just in this crazy world.
Her life was started in love and fear.
Pretty much. Yeah.
I mean, that's the way I looked at it. I was like, damn, her life started in fear and ended with love.
Yeah.
I guess in a sense.
And yeah, that's crazy. And so now you
jump to present time.
And actually, real fast.
Yeah.
So the girl plays Anna is Ashley Johnson. You probably know her. She was in Avengers, but she's been acting ever since she was a kid. She was the little girl from Growing Pains. So if you watch Growing Pains back in the day with Kirk Cameron and what's the singer's dad name?
Alan Thicke.
Alan Thicke. The dad, that kind of deal. And that's a show that also Leonardo DiCaprio was on for a while as well. Yeah. So she pretty much was the daughter in that show. Yeah. In that kind of deal. So.
But she plays Ellie.
Yes, and she plays Ellie in the games. Yeah. As well. So
she's a voice actress and the motion capture. Yeah, she plays Ellie.
So so she pretty much played Ellie and her mom in two different versions. Yeah. Which is pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And so now
they cut to present time.
They're walking. Ellie is still shell shocked from killing that dude.
Yeah, she's mentally out.
Yes, Joe is just a chatterbox. Hey, so you want to know what this?
Joel is trying to remember how to be a dad.
Yes,
you could tell he's like trying to find things to like. Hey, I found this Chef Boyardee, and I remember you said like you liked it, and also you ever played this game? It's called Boggle. You can beat me in it because it's about spelling and stuff like that. And so he's really trying to be. He's trying to remember how to be a dad.
Yeah. And so they're walking, and then he's still asking her questions, and he talks about Sarah. He's like, something? Sarah like you. She's like, oh, for real? Oh, yeah. And he's like, you know why? Because you're funny. And he says, you don't dress girly, but that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. She's like, I'm not a girl.
Because I know. I'm not dressing girl.
Yeah. He's like, oh, okay, cool. And so he says something else too, and he's like about you have a pretty you smile,
a pretty smile,
but that's okay because it's like he's literally trying to show it. Are you okay with that?
It's again, he's trying to figure out how to be a dad again, what to say, what to do, how to act. And now that he's just come and embraced his emotions again, in a sense.
Yeah.
So they get to this Federal hideout where it's supposed to be at this hospital. They're going through the building because they need to get across. And
so I'm trying to remember how did it happen. Okay, so the dude get in the building. Joe helps Ellie up the
which
stairs.
is funny, is because I was telling Andrew, I was like, man, you know what's funny? It's like, and you correct me if I'm wrong. Well, no, you probably couldn't because you never played the game. But they've never done any of the in-game mechanics because there's a bunch of times where there's a ledge that you can't reach. Ellie, I'm going to give you a boost. So she could boost you up there because there's a piece of a ladder that you can see, and she lowers down the ladder. So if my memory serves me right, when they do that scene in the show, that's the first in-game mechanics that they've done.
That's funny.
To kind of like harken to the game.
That's cool.
So Ellie sees something, she takes off, and Joel's like, "What the hell?" He starts chasing her and gets to there. They get to this open clearing. And
sure enough,
there's a fucking giraffe.
Which this I didn't know. And
was
my
a real
daughter,
giraffe.
Yeah, well, not just that.
Yeah.
So my daughter said, I asked about this. My daughter played the game as well. She said, I told her about it. She's like, "Oh, that scene you see is a real scene in the game."
Yeah.
That's literally a true verbatim scene that they go feed the giraffe, and then she runs off and sees the other giraffes, and that whole scene was like literally.
It's a beautiful scene in the game, very gorgeously done, and they did a hell of a job in recreating that in the show. It's absolutely just phenomenal.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. And then Joe pretty much talks to us and said, "Hey, we don't have to do this. We could go back to Tommy. We could just be done with this."
Yeah.
And she's like, "No, we're gonna finish this. We have a job to do, and we're gonna get it done to the very end." He's like, "Okay."
So they keep walking, and then, dude, okay, I'm gonna try to keep it together because this scene.
Okay, well, I know what you're talking about. I'll get to it. So pretty much they go down to the actual a little campsite, not really camping, but more military campsite, should I say? And Ellie asked about this, and just like, yeah, the military was here, the army did this and whatever, and they start talking about the scar on his forehead, and so
On the side of his head.
inside his head, and so she's like, "Oh, so the guy missed." She's like, "No, I missed." She's like, "What?" Then you realize, I guess, after
He's like, the day after
Sarah, his daughter died, he tried to commit suicide. But he tells her pretty much, for some reason, I flinched. She said, "I don't know what caused it. I just did."
Yeah.
And then they kind of talked about it, and I think it was
Ellie tells him,
I'm happy. I'm happy. You did.
She tells him. Well, I guess
it was meant to
time heals all wounds. And Joel looks at her in her eyes and he goes, "It wasn't time."
Yeah.
Meaning that it was her. And she realizes what he means. And I was like, "Oh, bro."
And then pretty much, and she's like, and I think he said, "I'm happy I missed."
Yeah.
And she's like, "I'm happy you missed too."
Yeah.
And so they're kind of walking through the camp, talking. All of a sudden, you see the background, you see these guys throw not a smoke bomb,
like a stun grenade.
Yeah. And pretty much knocks them out.
Yeah.
And then you find out, because Joel wakes up in the hospital, they're pretty much at the
Fireflies.
The Fireflies. They didn't know it.
Yeah. Marlene's like, "I'm sorry, they didn't know who you were. Ellie's fine. Nobody got hurt, blah, 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 blah." And so Joel starts sitting up. He's like, "Okay, well."
Start asking questions about
what's
Ellie.
going on? Well, I want to see Ellie. She's like, "No, you know."
And this is where Marlene realizes Joel is not the same person that she told him in episode 1. Like Marlene realizes that because he's too busy worried about Ellie and that kind of deal. She's like,
yeah, she's noticed that he's a completely different person. And he has some sort of emotional connection to Ellie. Yeah.
Yes. And so now at this point, to Marlene, he's disposable.
Yeah.
Like, she's like, "Hey, I need you two guys to get him out the hospital." When he take him over to the street.
And he's like, wait a minute, what's going on? She's like, our doctor is able to make a cure.
Yes.
But we need to her scans show that she has cordyceps in her that were given to her at birth, and we need to figure out why those cordyceps are blocking the other cordyceps, so the doctor can synthesize a cure. And Joel looks at her and at Marlene and says, "But cordyceps are in the brain." And Marlene was like,
Marlene pretty much does this without doing it.
Well, I mean, in a way, I mean, she's not wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a hard decision. Like when you stop and think about it, for a parent, there's no decision. But for somebody that has, it goes to the old saying, right? The old philosophical saying, or can you kill one to save many?
Yeah.
Can you sacrifice one to save many? Because yeah, maybe that is the only way. But again, like as a parent, you would think, well, you can't take no blood, you can't take brain fluid. I mean, without having to kill her, like you automatically just went to killing her, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
And so Joel was like, "Fuck you," and she was like, "No, take his ass out, give him his pack, leave him about 2 miles out." She's already getting prepped for surgery.
Yeah, so he's pretty much being walked. He even sees a sign that says pediatric surgery,
6th floor.
6th floor. They're walking down the hallway, stairwell. All of a sudden, he stops and just pushed him. Joe's like, "Fuck this shit!" Pops him, kills the next dude behind him, and all of a sudden you hear
arms up, gets his gun,
get all
full
his
ammo,
straight commando, baby.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, it was a very brutal and slow montage of a parent that was pissed.
You know what's cool about
nothing to stop them from saving their child.
Yes, and you know what's cool about this scene here is after he killed the guys in the stairwell, it's pretty much all music.
Yeah,
it's not really slow motion, but all you hear is music playing, like very dramatic music, and gunshots. And you see Joe just pick them off one by one, and it's very and at this point he's like, "Yes, Joe, kill all these motherfuckers. Go get your girl. Go get your baby girl. Like do what you have to do." And so he's
and it also just goes to show you like what Joel was capable of when he was laser focused. His one thing was to get Ellie.
Yes.
No matter what. And you're right. He was just taking them out one by one.
Yes.
Eventually gets to the doctor, shoots the doctor.
Yes. Literally, the doctor was like, "I'm going to stop you with my knife."
Yeah, with my
scalpel. The doctor pulled this. Joe's like, "Bam, done. All right. Hey, I need y'all two to turn around real fast. I need y'all the two nurses to turn around."
Right, which was the blink if you missed it.
Yeah,
she was also another one of the actors from the video games.
Yeah, I think her name was Abby. She played someone in part 2.
Yeah,
the actual actress, the voice actress, and that kind of deal.
Yeah, voice and motion capture.
Yeah, and so pretty much Joe gets Ellie, takes her on the elevator, takes her to the garage where you see pretty much the van that I guess I was promised in the very beginning of the show, gassed up, ready to go, and then Marlene come out the shadows. "Joe, you can't save everyone. You can't keep saving her, Joe. You can't keep saving her, Joe.
You're gonna save her. She's gonna grow up, and she eventually could die, and then the whole world is left off because there's nobody else." And Joe's like, "I don't give a fuck."
Yeah,
boom. That's my daughter.
And shoots her ass. Then all of a sudden, pretty
they
much
cut to them driving, and Ellie wakes up, and she's like, "What happened?
Yeah, and
where are my clothes?"
Yeah, and Joe tells a story about, "Hey, there
was other kids, other people like you."
Yes, and
turns out
all of a sudden they had raiders. Raiders came in.
Yeah, they couldn't use you, and then raiders showed up, and she's like, "Did a lot of people die?" And he's like, "We barely made it out ourselves." And she's like, "Oh, okay."
They were asleep, yeah. And then they cut back to Joe putting Ellie in the car, and you see Marlene graveling, and Joe goes back.
We could do this together. You don't have to do this, and blah blah blah.
He tells her, he's like, "You'll never stop coming for her." Boom.
Yeah.
He told point blank, "Bitch, you'll never stop running for it. I know you won't." And kills her. And then pretty much they drive off. they were able to stop. You don't see it, but they stopped to get close from somewhere and that kind of deal. Mm-hmm. And then it finally gets to Wyoming,
where the Tommy
and his crew is, and so the car breaks down, and pretty much he said, "Hey, it's about what, a 5-hour hike kind of deal." So they're walking, and you can tell you can tell
starting to come down.
Yeah, you can tell Ellie's still kind of out of it, but
you can tell she's thinking.
Yeah,
she's you don't know what she's thinking, but she's thinking. She's trying to process like what's going on, like it, and for people who haven't played the game, you're wondering, okay, like, does she know that Joel's lying? Like, did she hear stuff? Does she like have groggy visions or whatever?
And so that gets to this point to where now they pretty much on the mountaintop.
Yeah, they're at the summit. They can see the town.
You see the town. You see the sunset. You see everything. And Ellie tells Joel, "Swear to me that everything you said about the fireflies was true, about what happened in the car." He's like, "I swear." And so Ellie just looks at him, and you could tell Ellie knows he's lying. You could see it in her face. Like I think she believed it. She thought that he was lying, but the fact that he said, "I swear," I think that's why she goes, "Okay, let's go." Like she's like, "Okay, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. I can believe that." Yeah, I think she just wanted to hear some confirmation.
Yeah.
Like in my opinion, like she knows he's lying because they've been around and that kind of deal for the longest time, and she doesn't want to hear the truth after everything happened. She just want to hear a confirmation, like, okay, everything's okay, and that was like, hey, I swear everything happened. All right, okay, let's go see Tommy and your future brother, sister-in-law, whatever, and that's how it is.
Yeah,
just like that. And I didn't know there was a discussion about this, where I guess during the game of the show, was that the right choice?
Oh yeah, it reignited the debate from all the way back from 2013.
Yeah,
was Joel right? Was Joel's decision right? As a parent, 100%.
Yes.
I don't care. I even think if you're not a parent, like it's one thing to sacrifice a grown adult than it is to, I don't know. For me, I think I draw the line when it involves a child.
Oh yeah, definitely kids.
You know, and you can say, oh well, she's a preteen, or no, not even a preteen. It's like she's a young adult or whatever. Yeah, she's still a child. Like,
yeah,
you know, even if she did know, like they said, okay, look, you're gonna have to die in order to save the world, blah 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 blah. And if she said okay, even in today's standards, where the government is still, you know, there's no outbreak, no nothing. The government says she's not 18, she's not fit enough to make her own decisions.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, and then I forgot. There's one part we have to mention. So there's a part toward the very end, after everything happened, that when on the mountaintop, Ellie tells Joe, "Hey, you mean that time I told you that it's my first time killing someone?"
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "Yeah." She's like, "Well, back a long time ago, I had my best friend Riley. We both got bit, and she said this. She said, let's just live it out, and that kind of deal." And you know, she started to turn, and she's like, "I had to kill her." So pretty much, that technically was a second kill. So
her first kill.
Yeah, Riley was her first kill. The second kill was, of course, David. But yes, Riley was her first kill.
No, the dude in Kansas City when she shot him. Well, technically she didn't kill him.
Well, remember
she shot his ass.
Yeah, but she said her first true kill.
No, I'm saying her second kill was that dude.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then Dave technically would be her third.
Yeah, and
I guess you could say her first intimate kill. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe Riley would be her first. I don't know. Anyways,
this kill, but
the third one was the most traumatizing.
Yeah, but it's funny to say that because if you think back, if that was Ellie's first true kill was her best friend, rewind back in the past, her mom was killed by her best friend.
Yeah,
which is kind of
fate.
Yeah, kind of
weird, right?
Yeah, like
that's why I was like, that's why I brought up the title of the first episode.
Yeah,
and the title of the last episode. it's a perfect sentence.
Yeah,
like it goes hand in hand. It's amazing. Like I said, this show was so good. It was
really
so good. 9.5 out of 10 for sure.
And season 2 is confirmed.
Season 2 is confirmed that they're going to do the part 2 of the game, and it should be multiple seasons. That they're not going to do all of part 2 in one season.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then right now, also too, that the rumor is there may be a season 3, as well. That's being buzzed around right now. But season 2,
no, that's confirmed because season 2 is supposed to be obviously The Last of Us Part 2, but they're gonna split the story into 2 seasons. So season 2 and season 3 will be The Last of Us Part 2.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
cool. Yeah. So, no, I'm excited for that. Which they're probably gonna start filming for that. In 2 years? I think probably 20.
Yeah, probably saying about a year maybe.
Because this was filmed This was filmed last year.
Yeah.
Or last year, maybe end of 2021.
I don't think so, man. I think with all the hype right now, they're probably going to shuffle some stuff around so he can come back next year.
Start filming next year?
Yeah. No, start filming probably late this year in order to get out for next year.
I don't know. I think they'll start filming.
You got to stop and think about it. Like, they're going to have a hole because House of the Dragon's not coming back next year either.
Yeah, but I would think they'll probably start...
Unless they're going to do House of the Dragon, Last of Us, House of the Dragon, Last of Us, but then that's a pretty big gap even for HBO.
Yeah, but it makes more sense though, because also too, you also have other things coming out in 2025 that's not HBO. Of course, you got shit on Netflix, Stranger Things season 5. That's 2025 though, which that could... Oh shit! Actually,
yeah, but you just have to think about it. HBO is not scared to compete with anybody.
Oh no! No, not at all.
Because look at how they did with Last of Us and Mandalorian.
Yeah,
and they didn't lose any viewers at all.
Oh yeah, but I think they're gonna start. If they start filming, I wouldn't be surprised if they say, "Hey, late 2024, they start filming," especially around that time, like summer, late 2024.
I think it's gonna be 2023, late 2023, early 2024. To get out by
2025?
No, I would say 2024.
Oh,
to get it out by next year. I think you're talking about a TV show. It's not. TV shows. I mean, like they don't shoot as long, not as long as a movie. But also at the same time, it just depends on what those actors' schedules are like too, right? So that's the other thing. So you could be right. It could be 2 years before we see another one.
Yeah, because most shows like that.
Especially if that's the case, shoot both seasons back to back, please.
Now that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Now, yes, when shoot back to back and drop season, watch part 1 of season 2 in late 2023, early 2024. I'm sorry, late 2024, early 2025. 6 months later, release the second season. Mm-hmm. Kind of like what they did for Stranger Things. Like they released it like so many months apart.
Yeah.
Kind of deal. So yes, I can see that. Like 2025 would be the spring of 2025.
I think so.
We'll see. Part 1.
I don't know, man. I think with the hype, they're going to probably want to try to push it up, especially with all the shit that they have going down with DC and things like that. They're, as much as Warner Brothers is looking for, they're looking for hits.
Yeah.
And you could tell, even at the Oscars, they were trying to hey, it's our 100th anniversary. Look at all the good shit we have, Right. And some of the new stuff that they were advertising was like, man, which was what they ended with the Flash. Like, okay, all right. Well, guys, that wraps it up. Again, total, 9.5. We're both in agreement with that. I didn't know we were doing halves. I said 9. He said 9.5. So I'm going to jump on the 9.5 train again. The Last of Us, best video game adaptation by far, hands down. Fantastic show. Can't wait to see season 2. And from all of us here at the Radioactive Pop Culture Podcast, I'm Jay Rue. And
I'm Kung Fu.
And we out.
Bitches.
Man.